Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Welcome. See, we have a lot of people coming on. Hey y'all, hey Kathy, hey Christy, hey Faye, hey Brenda, hey Julie, hey Pam. Thanks for sharing, Kathy. Hey Linda, hey Miss Belinda, how are you? Hey Carmen. Hey Tammy, how's everybody tonight? Good, I hope. So tonight we are going to be making, if you can't tell what this shape is, or by the description I put in the video, we're going to be making some cute little bunny macaroon cookies. Not actual macarons, but, or macarons, as the French say, but they're going to be decorated as one. Hey Donna, hey Belinda, hey Peggy, hey Connie, hey Sherry from California. So I'm going to actually show you guys a few different ways to decorate these with a couple different methods. You know, I like to give everyone options because I know not everyone may have an airbrush machine. Not everyone may have different utensils at their disposal. So I always like to show a couple different ways that you can achieve similar looks. The keyword tonight is macaron, M-A-C-A-R-O-N. If you put that in and follow the prompts in your Facebook Messenger inbox, it'll just give you some cool links, some like where I got all the products, some live links to all the products I'm using tonight, and just some other stuff from our website. Hey Vanessa, hey Jennifer, how are you? Hey Susan. Okay, hey Christine from Georgia. Okay, so the first one that we're going to get started with, like I said, I have three. So I have one here that I already flooded in and it's pretty much dry. This is a pretty lilac color. It's actually called lilac. It's a newer color from Macaron, and I really love it. It makes such a pretty little pastel purple. So this one we're going to be doing some airbrushing on, but we'll come back to that. So, hey Sean, how are you? Hey Linda. So the first one we're going to work on is actually going to be a wet on wet method that I'm going to show you. And the reason why I'm going to start with this one is I want to get it popped in the dehydrator while we work on the others. That way it has a little bit of time to crust over and dry, because I'm going to come back in with like an edible marker and do a little bit of detail work and stuff on it. So I want to give it just that little bit of time. Hey April, how are you? So the first one that we're going to do, and by the way, this cutter, we're using the same shape in all three of the cookies. This is by JH Cookie Cutter Company. There's a live link to this exact cutter if you put in the keyword tonight on our product page. Hey Summer, how are you? Hey Nicole. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, hey Renee, how are you? The first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and do the two sections just like I did here. Okay, because if you kind of visualize what this is going to be, so this is the top and the bottom part of the little macaron, and then it has like this little center part that's where you'd put like your like the icing, right? Like usually it's like a buttercream or something like that. So that's going to be the center, and then up here is the cute little bunny ears, and then we'll do a cute little face here on it. Don't they have cute cutters? I know. Her sketches and stuff are so cute. Hey Dana, how are you? Hey guys. Hey Annette. Hey Loretta. Okay, so I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to start outlining our top part here. Like I said, we're going to do like a little bit of wet on wet here. And let's see. This doesn't have to be precise. I'm just going to make it kind of, you know, follow along the pattern here. And we're going to do one little section at a time because we're going to be doing wet on wet. Sorry for the noise in the background. There's dishes being done. The reason why we're doing one section at a time is because if you were to try to do two, it might start crusting over. So we have to work kind of quick. All right, so I'm going to just smooth this out. So what I'm going to do, I thought it would be cute if we went in. Hey, Marilyn, how are you? Thanks for sharing, Linda. I thought it'd be cute if we go and just do a little wet on wet with some little carrots on the blue. So this is actually not a standard orange. This is another new color, which I have it in gel and airbrush. Give me one sec. So this is a new color by Americolor. There's apricot, and I have it in the airbrush color, and I have it in gel as well. But that's what this color is. So it's not a super, super bright orange, which is what I was looking for. I didn't want to be bright. I kind of wanted to keep everything as pastel as I could. Hey, Kimberly, how are you? I know, right? It's actually my hubby helping me out with some after dinner dishes. Okay, so for the carrots, I'm just going to come in here. Like I said, this is wet on wet. Let me zoom in just a little bit so y'all can maybe see a little bit closer while I'm working. And my zoom, somehow my setting got kind of messed up. I don't know how I did that, but so I'm just going to come in here, like I said, and we're going to do just some little random carrot shapes here. So this is cool. This is another method you can do if you don't have maybe like an airbrush that you would be doing like stenciling with or anything. You can do some really cool stuff with wet on wet. I'm going to come back and add a little bit more to that carrot. And then what I'm going to do for the top little like leaf at the top of the carrot, again, this is a light color. So this is mint. And I believe this one is by Macaron as well. I could be wrong. It could be by Sunny Side Up by Hobby Lobby, but it doesn't really matter. I stuck with the mint green color because, again, I wanted to keep stuff kind of pastel. I didn't want like that vibrant leaf green. And I'm just going to come in here and add some cute little leaves. And I'll tell you what we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to pop this in the dehydrator. Once we kind of get this all settled down on here, we're going to get it crusted over really well. And then we're going to come back in with an edible marker and just do a quick little detail work on this. You're going to see how cute it kind of turns out. If you're doing wet on wet at any point and you're icing, like I keep mine a little bit thicker, even though this is a flood, it's a tad thicker. If you keep yours a little bit thicker, you can always just come in with like a scribe, a boo-boo stick, a toothpick, any of that. And you can just kind of, if you wiggle it around just a little bit, it'll kind of settle down in there and it'll give you that more smooth look. That way you're not having any icing kind of like bumped up on the surface. And if you don't care and it's bumped up a little bit, like I don't mind it, you know, it's not a big deal. Okay. Aren't these the cutest little cutters? Hey, Ebony, how are you? Hey, Amy. All right, so what I'm going to do, now we're going to come down and we're going to do the exact same thing on the bottom part of it. I'm going to scoot this up just a bit. And we're going to just, when we do this part, we're going to mirror these same kind of, you know, where we came up, we're going to mirror it because, again, that's like that real puffy icing there in the center of the cookie. So it's funny because you'll interchangeably hear people refer to this kind of cookie, a macaron, as a macaroon. But what's funny is they're actually two different cookies. If you've ever had a macaroon, a traditional macaroon is made with coconut, and a macaron is made with almond flour and egg whites, and it's this kind of cookie where you have to, they're actually a little bit difficult to make. If you've never made them, it takes a little bit of getting used to. I'll tell you that. The first couple times I made them, it was a little bit of a challenge because you have to like let it rest, and when they bake, they have to have like feet. Sometimes they get hollow if it's not made right. So they're a little bit of a challenge, but I love them. They're delicious. Hey, Ressie, how are you? Hey, Kathy. Hey, Anna, how are you? So like I said, we're just doing the same thing on the bottom here. Okay. So again, my green is a little bit thicker, so I'm just kind of wiggling this around a bit just to let it smooth and settle down into my icing. Okay. Are you, Cindy? Yeah, they're temperamental. Unless you really get the kind of the gist of how to get them down and understand it and get comfortable with it, they're a little bit challenging. I'll tell you that. Okay. I'm going to pop this into the dehydrator and we're going to come back to one of our others and work on that. Hey, Letitia, how are you? Okay. So while that is going, let's go ahead and start our other. Now, like I said, we're going to be doing 3. I wanted to show you the option of just having one plain, right? So if you just like, thank you, Kelly. If you just like to have it just plain, like for instance, we're going to do some airbrushing on this one, but this one we're going to do with just the color here. Nothing, no pattern, no nothing. So I wanted to show you just simply how to make one of those. Now, the first thing I'm actually going to do before I do the 2 parts like we did before, this pink I mixed up. This is going to be for the insides of our bunny ears here. And I thought that would be pretty cute to do. And it's actually, let me share this with you. You're multitasking? So this pink color, I actually achieved by using, I have a lot of these Elite Color Dust from the Sugar Art. They're actually here in the Dallas area. And it's Holly and Edward is the people that own it. And Holly just actually released a whole set. It's a set of 4, and they're different pinks. And I love them. And this one is called Amore. And that's what the color is inside there. And that's what I added to my real icing to get this color. I love these because you can add them, you can color icing with them, you can color macarons with them, you can color fondant with them, you can dilute and paint with this, you can dilute it and put it through your airbrush. I mean, there's like a ton of methods that you can use their color dust for. So if you guys are interested, like I said, this comes in a 4-piece set right now. I think at some point they may break it down and sell them singular. I'm not sure. But right now I know that this 4-piece set is $18, which is a pretty good deal. It's a lot of powder and it goes a long way. Okay, so that's this pretty pink that I made with that. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit down, and then we're going to go ahead and use a flat brush. And we're going to kind of paint it on so it'll be like kind of like recessed, right? It's going to look like it's the interior of his ears. Hey Gigi, how are you? You lost power, Nicole? That sucks. Hey guys, hey Cindy, hey Wilda. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in here. I'm just going to draw an outline for the interior of the ear. And I'm not going to do a ton of icing because, like I said, we're going to just kind of use the paintbrush here. So I'm just going to put a little bit. And then I'm going to come in here with this flat. And like I said, we're just going to spread some of this icing around. It doesn't need to be perfect. I just want to get a real thin layer. I might add a little bit more. I just want kind of like a thin layer. I don't want it to be super duper thick. I don't want it to be like completely flooded in. Just a thin layer. And of course I think we're going to go in here and add a little bit of glitter because why not? Glitter makes everything better. Okay. So like I said, we're just going to get this spread around. It doesn't need to be perfect by any means. We want it to just be a little bit more of a flatter surface here. We don't want it on the normal puffy flooded in look. We want it to be a little bit flatter. And I'm just trying to keep the same shape I outlined with. You don't have to come in with like an outline and do it. You could just come in here with it and kind of haphazardly do it because you can go over the top of it when you flood. I'm just kind of OCD. You had technical issues? Okay, so I'm just going in. This is just like a kind of palish, clearish, greenish edible glitter. You can use whatever kind you wanted. If you wanted to use pink, you could do that too. I can't even remember where I got this at. I just decided to kind of use it last minute. But we have a bunch on our product page too, so if you're looking for different places to get them, we have some options. I'm going to put a little bit more. Okay. I know, it's cute, isn't it? Okay, so there's the little sparkly ears. So this pink is going to look a little bit kind of the same, but it's not. I don't know if you can tell that there. It's a little bit different. I tried to make this a pretty light pink. But this is going to be the color pink that we're going to do the rest of the macaron with, okay? They are hard to get, aren't they? They're so good. I make them every now and again, but I just don't have a ton of time. But literally, like, I'm not even kidding you. Probably like once a week, I'm like, oh yeah, I should make some of those. Those sound good. But then I, you know, and then I don't. Maybe one day. Okay, so we're outlining the top part here just like we did on the others. And let's see, I'm going to go up on this. So they're kind of close. These pinks are kind of close in color, but you'll see a difference. And plus there's glitter on the inside of the ear, so that'll make it stand out anyway. But you gotta have a pale pink when you're doing like Easter cookies, right? I mean, you kind of have to. I think that's some kind of like unwritten law or something. I just baked a ton of my cookies for my Easter orders because I freeze them, because it saves my rear the week that I have to do them, because then I don't have to bake and decorate. I can just pop them out of the freezer, thaw them, and then just go on my way. Because nobody has time for that. And I didn't even get all of them finished today. I started them. I still have a little bit more I need to do. You've never had a macaron? Oh my gosh. Okay. They're so good. They're like really sweet, but they're like really, really light. And then they're kind of crunchy. Like the exterior is crunchy, but they're chewy on the inside and they're light. And then they have like usually like a Swiss buttercream or an American buttercream, whatever you want to put on the inside as the filling. They are so good. They are so good. I can't even stress how good they are. You need to try one. Did you, Ressie? I would love to take one. Amy, they're not that hard. It's if you just have to really follow the directions. That was my biggest thing, because, you know, with these kind of cookies, you can kind of go, okay, you know, loosely, you know, you can kind of go your own way a little bit. With macarons, it's like, okay, you better do it like precise. You got to get them done like the right way. So I struggled with that. But, you know, if you follow the directions and you do it pretty much how they do, and like I said, after you do them a couple of times, you kind of get the feel for what you should be looking for, how they should be looking at different stages. So it gets easier, but the first time it's very intimidating. Okay, so I'm going to actually pop this one in the dehydrator and let it just crust over a bit so we can come in and do our ears. So give me one sec. They are very, very sweet. I will say that. They're very sweet. Like, I can eat one, but I can't sit and eat a bunch of them. They're very, very sweet. Very rich. Okay, so now for our purple one that is dry, and I had already flooded this in. We're going to do some airbrushing. So that's why I only did these two parts first. We're going to do a cute stencil on it, and then we'll come back in and do the ears and stuff on this one too. So the stencil that, trying not to knock things off my desk. The stencil that I'm using tonight is actually from the Sweet Design Shop. I don't know if you can see that there. It has like a really cute little bunny heads, carrots, little hearts. Really, really cute. Okay. So, well, I'm just going to kind of find a good place for it. And actually, I'm going to take it off this turntable and stuff. Let me get my paper towel out. I always put paper towels down because I have a white work table. So I always put like paper towels down so I don't have airbrush color all over the place. Okay. So, yeah, Definitely. Definitely consistency and timing. Like when you go to pipe them out and you have them on like on the sill pat and you have to let them sit and rest there, looking to see like what their skin is looking like, the surface is looking like on them before you like put them in the oven. All of that. Like that was a big learning thing for me when I first made them. Very much so. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. But, you know, like the second time, third time I tried to make them and stuff, it got a lot easier. Okay, so for the colors I'm going to use on this, I thought it would be pretty against this lilac. They are sensitive to humidity. Yes, I kept them in my fridge. Ooh, champagne flavor. I haven't had that flavor. I made some regular like vanilla ones. I made strawberry ones. They were really good. There's a bunch of flavors I'd love to try. Okay, so I was just shaking up this is my apricot or apricot, however you say it, however you want to say it. This is the airbrush color. So we're going to be using that. And then I figured we'd come in here with my favorite Genie Pink. My little hot pink here. And then we're going to use a muted mermaid teal. This is by the Cookie Countess. And normally it's a pretty bold teal, but what we're going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of the Ameramist Bright White just to tone it down a little bit, because like I said, I'm keeping everything kind of pastel. And we're going to do that color last because it just takes a little bit more mixing in the airbrush gun. So let's go ahead and go in with the apricot. So I'm going to add maybe like, I don't know, a drop or two to my gun here. I'm going to give this a little test here to the side. I hope my airbrush gun isn't clogged because earlier I was using like thicker stuff in it. There we go. Okay. So I figured I would use the little apricot color on like the little carrot parts. Now I know that I'm probably going to have some like little overspray because these little pieces, the cutout pieces are so close together, but I don't really mind that. I'm just going to go slow and do it. If you have some, it's kind of cool. It doesn't really matter. It's going to give it kind of a cool effect anyway. Ooh, anything lemon I'm down for. I love anything lemon. Like lemon bars. Oh my gosh. That's like one of my favorite things ever. Lemon pound cakes. Like, you don't have to ask me twice if I want anything like that. So again, I'm layering just really light. Any of the little carrot pieces I had showing on here, that's what I use this color for. I might even go and add a couple of the hearts in this color just to kind of mix it up. We'll just pick a couple. Couple little random heart areas here. Okay. So I'm going to just quickly spray out what's left in my gun of this, which isn't very much. You do too. Hey Becky, how are you? No, they are very temperamental, aren't they, Amanda? I found that out quickly. There's a lot of things I found out about macarons when I made them. Lots of fun details. They're just a temperament, like sugar cookies, they're easy. You just, I don't know. Once you're used to that, you're just used to it, you know, and there's wiggle room there. With the macarons and stuff like that, it's really, you know, you have to be like spot on. Okay, so I just added a couple of colors of the Genie Pink, which I think I just got everywhere. I'm going to add that to some of the hearts around here, and if you can see, there's like little, like Easter egg, even kind of little shapes. We'll be doing those. So I'm going to slowly, because like I said, I'm trying to prevent a ton of overspray, but I'm going to go in here and add some pink into a couple of these areas. And this stencil, because this is not a complete flat surface, we have a center part here that doesn't have icing. The stencil's not sitting 100% flat, so you just have to be careful. You will, you know, the lines won't be super duper crisp because it's not sitting super flat. Like a couple of these areas are, because it's on more of a level surface of where that icing is sitting. But it's not going, and plus I don't want it to be super duper bold. I just want this to be a pretty kind of background on it. So I'm not trying to go really crazy with it. I just like the shapes on it. I think they're pretty cute. We're going to do some of these hearts with the teal too when we come back in here, because that's our last color. They're just colors that are in a bottle. So with similar colors like an orange and a pink, I don't need to rinse my gun out because any bit of like a tiny bit of residue that was left of this color is just going to get absorbed by the pink color because it's a little bit of a deeper color. Now when I switch over to teal here in a second, I'll just run some water through my gun just to make sure that, you know, I don't have any of this color residue in there. But for the most part, if you're sticking within like those same kind of colors, you don't have to really do a big rinse in between. Okay, so I'm just hitting a couple of these tiny hearts before I switch over to the teal color. I think we're pretty good there. So instance, for this pink one, I have these little old cups. I use these plastic cups. I'm just going to spray whatever's left in my gun out into the cup, and then I have another one of those cups full of water. And I take this little eyedropper and I just put clean water into my gun and just give it a good spray, kind of run everything through it. That way any of like that residual pink or orange that's left in there won't be hanging around when I mix the teal up. You're welcome. Yeah, I promise I'm not pulling any Houdini stuff over here. I promise there's no magic happening. Just cookie magic. Okay. So once we get the rest of this water ran through here, it just takes a sec because it runs. I put a good amount in my well and I just make sure it's good to go. Okay. So like I said, for the teal color that we're going to be using, I wanted to lighten it up just a little bit because straight out of the bottle it does come out a tad. It's a great color, I love it, but out of the bottle it's just really, really bright teal, and like I said, I'm trying to keep it a little bit lighter. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to try to not make a mess with this teal, first of all. Sometimes I open these bottles and it like bubbles out of the top, and that's when I get stained up hands. Okay, so I can kind of show you. See how deep of a, this is on the paper towel, how deep of like a tealish color that is. It comes out pretty concentrated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my gun and put maybe like 2 small drops of the teal in. Honestly, I probably don't even need that much, but. And then I'm going to come in with this bright white. This is airbrush color. Now, white airbrush colors tend to run a little bit thicker. So what I like to do is I'm going to add probably like 4 to 5 drops of white because I want to lighten it pretty well. And then what I like to do is I use that same eyedropper and I drop just a couple of drops of water in. It helps just kind of break down that thick white, and it helps it run through your gun a little cleaner. Now what I do is, if you were to look down in there, you can kind of see it's not mixed, it's kind of sitting in there together. Yes, Ressie, I am north of Dallas. So what I do is I put my finger on the end of my gun is on, it's blowing air out right now. I take my finger and I put it on the end here, and I have some pink bubbling out from somewhere. Let me make sure this is on. Okay. I take my finger and I put it over the end here, and I pull back on my trigger. If you can see that bubbling in there, I just am very careful when I'm doing. Obviously, I usually don't do it over the top of a cookie, but I want you guys to see what it's doing. It's backflowing that air into the gun, and it's pretty much just mixing up everything I put down in there. Okay, the air is mixing up that teal, the white, and the water that I put in there to dilute it down a bit. Okay, so now it's like a much lighter teal than what it came out of the bottle with. Yeah, Susan, these are all airbrush colors. So we're going to go ahead, and now that that's mixed in there, we're just going to start adding a little bit of this teal. We're going to fill in all the areas that we kind of had left. So even after adding like water to it, I can feel a difference in my gun. white airbrush color is just, it's tough. It's tough to get through an airbrush gun. It's just they make them thicker. I have like, I don't know how many brands. I probably have about 3 or 4 different brands of white, and then I've tried all of them, and they're all just on the thicker side. So now I'm just going through and I'm touching up any little areas we didn't fill in before with the teal. Making sure they're all good to go here. And you can see how much lighter it is than that color I showed you that came out of the bottle. Okay, we're looking pretty good. I think that's probably pretty good. Okay, now we're gonna have the big reveal. Ready? Ta-da! Isn't it pretty? So you see how some of them, like around the edges, maybe kind of like had a little bit of that spray and the colors melded together. Do you kind of see that? Like kind of like the pink came into the blue and kind of makes like a purple. But I think that looks really cool. So there is one that you can do with airbrushing. All right. I am going to go ahead and just drop some water in my airbrush gun because I don't want everything to dry up in here while it's sitting. Because I think that, actually I'm going to clean it out really quick. I'm going to spray it out because we're going to be using it in a few minutes. I'm going to use it for their cheeks, I think. So let me just spray this out. Aren't they pretty? Well, Belinda, you want to just only use solution, the dilution solution. You want to use that when you're using gel colors. You could probably use it in it, but I just grab water because really the white's not super thick. It's just a little bit thicker than normal airbrush colors. So I just take like literally a few drops of water from my eyedropper and just drop it in and mix it all up together. Yeah, it's a handy little thing to do there. I mean, you can kind of shake your brush around or your airbrush gun around and get, you know, a similar effect, but it kind of helps just mix everything together. Okay, so I am just continuing. I'm going to spray this out a bit. I actually may take this to my sink. Give me 2 seconds and we'll come back and we're going to start filling in the ears here. Let me go rinse this out in my sink. I'll be right back. Sometimes it's just easier to go to the sink and get a good rinsing out there rather than sitting here and slowly letting the air push everything out of the gun. Alright, so my airbrush gun is clean and ready to go for when we need it. If you don't have dilution solution, you can always thin the colors, like gel colors down. You can thin it down really well with like vodka. You can even use water. Anything like that you can use. You just want to make it super duper thin, like a watery, so that it gets through your gun, because anything too thick is going to clog up your gun. Okay, Becky, it is, if you put in the keyword tonight, or if you just know where our products page is on the website, it's on there. It is the Easter stencil from Sweet Design Shop. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the ears that we did on the other. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to paint these on, or not really painting on, but put this on. I might put a little bit of glitter on these. I just don't want glitter to get all over the place. Okay. And you know what? I'm going to grab my turntable since we're done for the moment airbrushing. Clean my brush off. Okay. And we're going to pop our other ones out of the dehydrator here in a minute, just so we can start adding the ears and stuff to them. Just to get those parts done. Because really there's not a lot of detail work that you have to do on them. It's just some little facial details and stuff like that you do, and then you just fill in the center with the white. So the main part is just getting some of these parts done. Okay. I'm going to give this just a real quick hit of glitter. Like I said, I don't want to go nuts with it, but and especially this glitter, it has kind of, I don't know, it has kind of like the same kind of reflections and colors of the airbrush colors we just used. You can see that. It's pretty. Okay. So let's go ahead and fill in one ear, and then we'll jump back to our others and get their ears on. And I want to do the ears one by one, because if I were to do them all at once, they would kind of blend together here in the center, and I want them to have a little bit of definition. So we're going to do them one by one. And I'm overlapping this pink just a little bit, because like I said, I want that to kind of really be recessed there. Okay. So there's one little ear. So let's pop it in the dehydrator. We'll grab our others out. Let's grab this guy out. We're going to put him back in because, like I said, I want this to get pretty dry here. But we can go ahead and start doing some of like the ear detail on this one as well. Yeah, I love this cutter. When I first saw this cutter on their website, I was like, yeah, I gotta have that. That's super cute. And once you get to like the point where you're putting like, I'm getting ready. You see, I was getting ready to flood that in. I'm sitting here talking. You could flood them in. It doesn't really matter, but I just kind of like this look with the glitter and stuff. But what was I just telling y'all? When I saw it on the website, I wanted it, and this is, I think, is like the 4-inch size. I believe this is the 4-inch, but they start at 2-inch. You can get it like in a mini, and they have a bunch of sizes in between. Yeah, I was like, that's cute. And when you see the face on, it's like adorable. The face is so cute. So has everyone else, like, are you, anybody that makes cookies anywhere, maybe has a business, have you been working on like Easter samples? Are you done with samples? Are you like getting ready to plan for everything? Thanks, Amanda. Okay, so I'm adding just a little bit more glitter to these little ears here. So normally I don't keep things in the dehydrator any longer than 10 or 15 minutes in between sections. This one's gonna sit a little bit longer because, like I said, I want it to be pretty set so I can go back in with a marker and I won't really puncture it when I do that. So they're gonna be in there a little bit longer, but usually anywhere between like 10 to 15 minutes in between, and I usually keep mine around 90 degrees or so. You don't need a super high temp. You just want enough that it's going to help start letting it crust over. You're doing your Easter samples now, Kia? I did mine super early because we were going on vacation. And I knew when I got back, I was like, I am not going to be wanting to do this. All this stuff's going to be going on. So I got mine done early. But you're waiting on Easter cutters for me, Vanessa? Okay, so there's one ear. So I'm going to pop him back in the dehydrator. y'all will not believe what I just did. Look what I just did. You see I stuck my finger in it? I grabbed it out of the dehydrator and my hand went like that. It's a sad day. Sad, sad day. That's alright. These aren't for sale or anything. And this one's the simplest one, so I guess if it had to happen to any of them, I guess that's the one. Alright, we're going to add one ear. And I usually don't stick my fingers in too many cookies anymore, but you can see it happens. Well, especially when I'm not rushing, but especially when I'm like wanting to get it done and get it back in there so it can start drying so we can move on to the other parts. It happens. You do it all the time? Yeah. I usually don't, but, you know, sometimes it happens. It still happens. That's alright. It looks like it had a bite taken off of it over here. That's what it looks like to me. Someone took a nibble out of it. You made some for icing smiles, Liz? I did some this week too. They were cute. Alright, I'm going to pop this back in. You did? You stuck your finger in one of your samples? Okay. Even though it hasn't been in there very long, I'm going to pop this one out and do the other ear because it has started to crust up a bit. I think it'll be fine to add the other ear on there. So I'm going to spin this around and add our other ear. I hate when I do it. I hate in the off times that I will like stick my finger in or smudge something or whatever. I'm like, are you kidding me? But we're human, right? It happens. It happens. Okay. I know, right? You could add a little hand. You could do all kinds of stuff. I think it's kind of cute. Kind of looks like somebody nibbled off of it. Belinda, Icing Smiles is an organization where you can volunteer with them. They do cakes and cookies. So if you're a baker, you can volunteer with them and you can make either a cake if you do cakes or cookies, or I guess both if you do both. They'll send you a request. You fill out an application. That's when you tell them if you do cakes or cookies or what you do. Give them your information, and if you become a contributor, then they will send you information. Like the one I had this last week, they don't give you a lot of info. They'll just say we have a child. It's usually kids that have been sick with, illnesses, cancer, things like that. And they'll say, we have a child that we want to send some follow-up cookies to. Usually they send them a cake first, and then like a couple months later they send them some follow-up cookies to let them know that, they're still thinking of them. And they'll give you a little bit. They'll say, maybe sometimes they'll tell you what the disease that they are dealing with or that they're in remission from. Usually they'll give you kind of like their age, their first name, and like on this one they told me, okay, he's like superheroes. So that's when I did the superhero set. So it's kind of cool because you get to make like a little pick-me-up for, the child and the family and stuff. So it's a lot of fun. Okay, so we're going to go in with the white since we already have this one out. Let's go ahead, and you know what? We can actually start doing, the face here in a few minutes too. So on this one, because we have the pattern, obviously I'm not going to be doing like the little airbrush cheeks because you wouldn't see it anyway. This is the white that I'm using, and it's a really thick, like piping or outline consistency because I wanted it to be billowy when I add it here to the center. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and then just start piping this on. Like I said, I want this to be nice and puffy because I want it to look like icing that's kind of squeezing out from the center. Okay. Hey Stacy, I'm Dots and Bows Cookies. I am Katrina. Welcome, and I am the owner and cookie artist here at Dots and Bows Cookies. Okay, so what do you guys think of that so far? Cute, right? I'm going to pop it in the dehydrator and just let this start crusting over. I don't want it to crater or anything. And we can get one of the others out and start filling in the other ears really quick. And then we'll come back and like do all of their facial stuff on here. Okay, so let's go ahead and add his other little blue ear to this one. And his white. Yeah, so if you have never been here before, first of all, welcome. I am here every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central. And we're having fun doing some kind of cookie decorating. It's a different cookie, different theme, different stuff kind of every week. We have a lot of fun. Okay. It was, Liz. That's cool. So, Lindsay, a couple tips to prevent cratering. Use a thicker icing. That's number one. So, even with the flood, you want to make sure it's not super thin because that causes a lot of cratering. If you want to, in thin areas like this, you could go in and use like a little bit of a thicker, like a piping or outline underneath, and it'll help it from settling down and cratering down. Another thing is, after you put the icing down, if you pop it in front of a fan or in a dehydrator to help the top layer crust over faster, you'll prevent cratering that way as well. So those are some quick and fast and dirty tips for you for cratering, or things that have especially worked for me anyway. Okay. These are so cute already. Like, seriously, they're cute with even, like, adding the face. Okay, let's put him back in the dehydrator. We'll add our last little ear to our other one, and then we'll start putting faces on. This is the one that it looks like got a bite taken out of it. Okay. Hey, Kelly, how are you? Alright, I'm going to spin this around here. I really like this pink. I really like the little bit of the darker in the center with the glitter. I really like it. Okay, let's add our white to this one. And you can see these don't take a lot, especially if you're gonna do just like the plain color and not do anything like stenciling or wet on. Even the wet on wet was fast though. These really are not really that hard to make, and they go pretty quick. I can't remember if I did it on the hipster bunny or not. I don't think so, but you could. So I'm making some hipster bunny for my Easter orders and my pop-up. So I'm gonna be, I think I'm gonna experiment, and I'm gonna make the frames on his glasses. I'm gonna make them in other colors but black too. I think I'm gonna do like this type of blue, and like maybe like a pink or a purple. I'm gonna experiment with some colors. So I think that'll be cute too. All right, let's put this back in the dehydrator. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and take our purple out. Like I said, I don't want these cratering. Usually I would leave them in there for a good 5 to 10 minutes just to make sure they crusted over pretty well, because our humidity is a little bit different today too. But we're gonna go with it. If it craters a little bit, that's okay. Okay, so for the face, like I said, I'm not doing little cheeks or anything on this because you can't see it. We have the pattern on there. So what I'm gonna do is I have black here. Ooh, that would be cute, Belinda. I have some black. And this is just like a little bit thicker than Flood. And we're going to go in and we're going to add, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little nose because I kind of want it to be centered. So we're going to do a little heart nose. Okay. And then for the eyes, let's do and we're going to add some white to the eye too. I always like to make sure my eyes are like as even as I can get them. Oh, that would be cute, a little flower there. All right, I'm gonna add, this is cut pretty wide and it's the thick, but we're gonna add a little bit of white here to the eyes. And I'm gonna try not to throw my tools around the table. And I'm just gonna kind of like settle this white down a little bit because it is thick. I'm going to settle that down into there. And then what I'm going to do, I have these Chef Master black markers, and this is completely set, so we can do stuff on this one. I'm going to go in and just add some like little eyebrows here. And one of mine is drying up. I want to make sure which one it is. We'll try it. So, let's see. There we go. Some cute little eyebrows. If you wanted to make this girly, which we may do on one of the other ones, you can even add like little eyelashes to the eyes. But see how cute that is? So simple. Super cute. So this one would be like basically done. Okay? I'm torn. I don't know how I feel about, I love the pattern on this one. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys like the patterned macaron, or do you like the plain ones better? I'm going to pop him back in so he doesn't crater or anything. Okay. I'm going to take the blue one out because I am I think it'll be okay to mess with. I'm going to try to go in here and add some detail. It's pretty crusted, so I think we'll be okay. And we're going to do the exact same thing for the face on this one. I don't know. Do you guys want to see some eyelashes on this one, or do you want to do it on the pink one? I might hold the eyelashes for the pink one. I don't know. You guys like the pattern? I don't know, I'm torn because I like the plain one too. I really like this wet on wet carrot one, and it'll be really cute when I show you what we're going to do with the marker. I'm trying to make, I'm like the worst at keeping my eyes like even in size and stuff. You like the pink one? They're cute in a set, that's true. They are cute with the set. I'm going to turn this and do his other eye going out that way. He probably looks nutty. He probably looks a little nutty. It works, right? Alright. He has crazy eyes. He has crazy eyes. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in here with the same marker we used. First, we're going to do his little eyebrows, but I'm going to be very careful because it's not that dry. I'm going to be very, very careful. But I'm going to show you what we're going to do on the carrots too. So there's his little eyebrows. This is just wet on wet. I put this light blue down, and then I went in with this apricot color and this mint green color, and I just did wet on wet right on top of it and did carrots. So it's not even a stencil. Let me tell you, Roxy, my son, my 18-year-old, has better lashes than anybody I've ever seen. He has amazing lashes, and that's not fair. Okay, so on these little carrots, I thought it would be cute to do kind of like, and I'm going to try not to stick my hand through any of the wet icing. I thought it would be cute to do kind of like some like little, just kind of sketch marks on it, right? On some of the carrots. And kind of give it like a little bit of something. Right? Isn't that cute? But I'm being very careful because normally I would have these dry a little bit more before I went and did this. But it'll work. It'll work. I mean, obviously before you go in with an edible marker, you want to make sure it's dry enough that you're not going to like puncture it. Oh, the stencil I used on the other cookies, Tracy, is just a one piece. It's by, it's called the Easter stencil, and it's by the Sweet Design Shop. So like I said, I'm going to be very careful here. I'm going around this eye. I just like it. I think it gives it like just a little bit of something here. It gives the carrots a little bit of something. You could leave it alone too if you wanted. You didn't have to add this. You know, if you wanted just to have the pale color on that, do any of the black, you didn't have to do this part either. You could do a cottontail. That would be really cute. What do you guys think of the carrot? You could even go in here over the top of the orange with like a deeper orange like marker, like that's a little bit more like a darker orange. You can go in and do like details with that. But I kind of like it. I kind of like the non-perfectness of it. I kind of like giving the carrot just like a little bit of a different look. But if you didn't like this, you didn't have to add it either. You can just leave the carrots as is. We're going to finish this one off the way it is. Okay. So now he has little carrots. So he's pretty much done. Cute, right? Like I said, you could go, instead of using like, if you didn't want the harshness of the black, you could use like a deeper orange to kind of accent it and do some little like squigglies and lines on them, a deeper green if you wanted. You can play around and do a bunch of different stuff. Okay, let me grab our pink really quick. And I'm going to show y'all. This one I had moved out. I don't know if you can see it. This one I had moved out of the dehydrator a little bit. See how that cratered just a little bit? That's what I mean by that. Usually I'll let them sit in there for 5 to 10 and not mess with them, not move them around, and they don't crater at all. But it'll still happen sometimes. Oh, geez. Buffalo. Oh, you know what? Let me show you really quick the pink. If it'll show up, it should show up. A lot of times when I'm airbrushing and I'm doing like the little blush cheeks on stuff, I use this color. This is Pinch of Pink by the Cookie Countess. So I'm going to add just like a drop of this to my airbrush gun. And we're going to give some very light little cheeks here. Very, very light. Just enough where, like, you may not even see it on here very well. I'll lift it up and maybe you can see it a little bit better here in a second. Can y'all see that? So like if you made these like that light blue color, light purple, like the lilac, the pink, you know, you can do all those little blushy cheeks and it looks really cute. Alright, I'm going to pop a little water into my airbrush gun. All right, let's go ahead and add the face to this one. We're going to add lashes to this one. So here's its little nose. I'm telling you, I think I'm a little bit partial to the solid color. I like it. I like the pattern too, but okay, before I add the white to the eyes, I'm going to take my scribe and I'm just going to drag it out and create some little lashes here on the outside. That's cute, right? I love the lashes. Okay. And I'm being careful because my pink icing underneath this is obviously not completely dry, so I don't want to like puncture a hole in it. So I'm just like barely dragging and touching this. So let's add, I love the solid color, I'm telling y'all. Buffalo blue. You guys and your buffalo. Okay, let me clean this off. I feel like I had some black on the end of that. I love the pink one too, I'm telling you, I think it's my favorite. And then I'm going to very carefully, just add some little eyebrows here. Because it's just crusted over, it's not dry. I wish I wouldn't have stuck my finger in it, but such is life, right? What do you guys think? I love it too. And I love the lashes. I think, because I'm making some of these for my Easter stuff, I think when I make them, I'm going to put lashes on all of them because I just think they're so cute. Okay. I like it too. Here's another thing. Here's another reason why I like the solid colors. Because you can put those cute little cheeks and stuff on it. The patterns, you just can't see it. So it's really tough to do that. You guys want a flower on the edge? Let's see. I have all... let's do this. We'll do a flower. But I have really, really thin icings. None of them are thick. We'll try it with purple. My purple's really thin, but we're going to do something here. So we're going to put like a big flower here. I'm going to show y'all something. I know it doesn't look like a flower yet, but I promise you it will. So let's do this. We're going to put this over here. We're going to try to cover up all of our little cracks and stuff here. Okay, I'm going to pop this in the dehydrator really quick while we grab the others and just look at how cute they are. Because literally this needs like just a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to come in and show you what you can do on the top. Okay. I'm going to see if it'll work. My purple's super thin, so we'll see. And if I had any like pre-made little, you know, like bow transfers or something, I would have just plopped one of those on, but I don't. Okay. You could even add, you know what, we can add lashes to one of these while that one is setting for a second. I'm just watching it because I'm trying to make sure the icing isn't going off the edge. I think it's okay. All right. Hey Rhonda, how are you? So you can also do lashes just with using the icing. I think I'm going to add some lashes to this one. You don't have to drag it out of it. You can just carefully use a small open tip on the end of a bag, and you can add lashes this way too. I think the lashes make these. I don't know, what do y'all think? I like the lashes. I think they'll definitely be They'll be a thing on mine. Okay. What do y'all think? Cute, right? So you see what I mean by when I said you don't have to have stencils to do stuff. You can easily do like wet on wets and do all kinds of stuff wet on wet, and you don't ever have to have an airbrush or a stencil to do it. I like the lashes too. I think it's my favorite. I think you know what, we're gonna add some to him too, because why not? I say him, but that could be a girl, right? Let's add some lashes over here too while we're waiting. Let's go nuts with the lashes. Lashes are never a bad thing, right? Cute. Okay. Cute, cute, cute. I'm loving that. Thank you. Okay. It's gonna take a minute on our flower here. And I really wish my purple wasn't as thin as it was. I'm trying to think, do I have any other thicker ones? Not really. You know what? I'm gonna pop this purple in another bag, because if it is a smaller opening on the end of it, I think we can still get away with what I want to do. And unfortunately, I don't have any other icings mixed up, because I just cleaned up a lot of my icing yesterday and got a bunch of stuff organized and done, and so I only have the icings out that I made for this tonight. If I had any other kind of like thick icing, I would have just gotten that out to show y'all. Okay. I'm gonna cut a very, very small end off of, I just rebagged this, by the way. You can totally do that. It's still in the original bag inside here. I just grabbed another bag and dropped it down into it, and I cut the end to where it's a much smaller opening now versus where it was before. It was a little bit thicker. All right, let me check on our other one over here. It might be crusted up enough for us to do it. If not, it's not a big deal, but I want to just show you a really easy way to do like a floral if you wanted to do this. Let me move this. Now, mind you, I would use a little bit thicker of an icing when you do this, but it is what it is. Okay. So what you can do is you can put down like a base. Usually it's more of a circular, but we're covering up something on the corner here. And then what you do is you come in and you just do like this one. I'm going to do a thinner line because it's going to smooth out a little bit. And you can just pipe a line over the top to make like a swirl, and it'll give it like a little bit of like a rosette look. Now if I had, again, this is real thin. This green is thin. But if I wanted to have like a thicker green, you can go and add like a couple of like leaves. Like we'll even do it. We'll do like a dot here, a dot here. I'm going to show you how you can do like a quick leaf. Mind you, this isn't what I would normally do any of this, but we're improvising because we're covering up a mistake. So to do a leaf like this, you can just pipe a dot and you can pull it out into like a point. So like this. Mind you, my icing's pretty thin, so I'm trying to work with it that way. We're improvising, people. We're improvising here. I'm going to add a tiny more dot to this. See? Oh yeah, a headband would be cute. But that covered up at least my finger smashing through it, right? So what do y'all think? Let me zoom out a little bit. You can see all three. Zoom out. I swear I'm bumping stuff all over the place today. They're pretty cute. they've quickly become kind of one of my favorites. One of my favorite Easter cutters. What do y'all think? I like them. I think they're cute. So which one is y'all's favorite? Out of all three, which one's your favorite? Let's do just a quick question. Like I said, granted, this could be like a whole different flower and stuff. Whatever, we're live. It doesn't matter. But without like this and me sticking my finger through and stuff, I'm digging the plain one. But I really love this guy too. I like this one. I don't know. Just personally, it's pretty. It just doesn't do. I mean, whatever. It's cute too. But I really like this guy, and I really like the pink one. Yeah, the pink's my favorite too. She is my favorite. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing the solid colors with the lashes and all of that. It's definitely a go-to. The carrot is your favorite? I love the carrot too. Carrie likes the stenciled. I like the stenciled too. It's not that I dislike it. I don't know. I like all of them, really. I mean, I don't dislike any of them. I like all of them. But I do love the solid one. Okay, does anyone have any questions for me about anything you've seen me do, any products I used, anything like that, before I sign off for the evening and get everyone settled here? So what is today? The 3rd? So next week we'll do another Easter, and I think we'll have one more Easter after that. So we'll always do some kind of different Easter or something, you know, every week leading up. So it makes you think of Santa. It's this. It's like the cuffs and the bottom of like the Santa coat. That's what it's reminding you of. I think of the same thing. Julie wants one with buffaloes. This cutter is from JH Cookie Company. JH Cookie Co. Their shop, I believe, is closed right now because this whole week and weekend they were moving into a warehouse. And they were super busy at CookieCon, so they closed down temporarily until they get everything up and running in the warehouse. So I'm thinking probably sometime next week they'll be back up and running. But they have a lot of super cute cutters, so check them out if you're interested. You're so welcome. Well, I think that's it for tonight. If you guys have any other questions on the road and you think of anything you saw tonight and you pops in your head and you want to know, just comment here and ask me. You can send us a message. And I think that's it. So I will see you guys back here next Wednesday for some more fun Easter. And we'll go from there. All right. You guys have a great night, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.